Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. So, today I am talking a little bit about Taurus 1 and the throat chakra. So, I was looking at, it's Taurus 1. I'm on the Decan Walk, and we're in the first decan of Taurus. And the first decan of Taurus is associated with these three cards. So, the first decan of Taurus is Mercury in Taurus. It's a sign Mercury in Taurus. The Mercury card, well, the Taurus card is the Hierophant, which infinitely confuses me because I was pretty sure that Venus ruled Taurus. And if Venus, and it does say it here, Venus and Taurus, but if Venus rules Taurus, then why isn't the Taurus card the Empress card? But whatever. And then I was also a little bit confused about something else later, but we'll talk about that later. If anybody knows why it's the Hierophant and not Venus, and not the Empress, somebody please tell me where I can read about that because I'm confused. So anyways, it's Mercury in Taurus, and Mercury is associated with the Magician, and Taurus is associated with the Hierophant. So these are the three cards. So I was looking at the information on the card, and I saw it's the throat chakra, the throat chakra, and the throat chakra. And I went, that's a lot of throat chakra in this Taurus 1 decan in these 10 days. So I started thinking about, the throat chakra, and I pulled out my go-to chakra deck. This is the Feel Your Chakras Oracle by Andy Taylor. I think you can get this on Make Playing Cards. I'll find it and put it below if I can find it. So what I did was I went through and I pulled out all the cards for the throat chakra. And then I purposefully just went through, looked through, and I chose all of the ones that I felt really felt honest to me right now in the moment right now, right? These weren't I wasn't feeling these. So I went with I talk and I overshare. I talk and I am a good listener. I talk and notice body language. I talk but suppress my feelings. I talk but I am shy. I fear expressing myself. I am misunderstood. So those were the ones that I felt, I could work with right now. And then I started looking, and I work a lot with my throat chakra. I thought my throat chakra was pretty balanced, but as I was looking at these cards, I noticed a lot of under out active here. And so I started to kind of think about what work I could do to kind of get my throat chakra feeling more balanced than underactive, right? So there was that. Now, last year I did a challenge on Metaphysics Made Easy's Instagram page. She uses it, that is Andy. That's Andy's page, the one who created this deck, Feel Your Chakras Oracle. And when she launched this deck, did she did spread questions for all of the cards, every card in the deck. And I kept them because I was doing the challenge. I did all the spreads with her, and I have them all in my journal. So I pulled them all out and I was looking at them all. I picked the ones that went with these cards that I found were closer to kind of what I was thinking about for myself, how I was feeling at the moment. And I decided that I was going to do some deck dialogues. So rather than doing spreads or pulling cards based on the spreads, I thought I would just do some deck dialogues. And I just started with her question that she had presented, or something that was close to that. And I just went from there. Now, if you don't know what a deck dialogue is, I will try to find the original video from this is an idea that I picked up from Mindful Tarot, and she has a YouTube channel as well as a Facebook page. And she does deck dialogues where she will pull a tarot card. I'll try to explain it. I don't know if I'll explain it as well as she does, so I will also try to find her video and link it below. But just in case I can't find the original video, or I forget, she does this thing where she will pull a tarot card based on a question, and she'll say, okay, she'll talk it out. So this is telling me this, this, and that. And I understand that, but I'm so curious about this. Can you tell me more? And then she'll pull another card. And, and she's asking her spirit guides or her angels or whoever it is that you're talking to, your inner self, whoever it is that you're talking to when you do tarot, when you read tarot, whoever it is that you're questioning, asking these questions of, you're talking to that, you're asking the questions further. You're deepening your conversation, your dialogue with that, whoever it is, right? Or whatever it is. So that's what I did. I did some deck dialogues around these points, and it was very enlightening. It was very enlightening. It was very interesting. But it was like it took me down a whole rabbit hole. And so since I was down, while I was down there, while I was down the rabbit hole, splashing around in the lake at the bottom, I just decided that I was going to start pulling decks that I felt spoke for the throat chakra. I was looking for decks that were, I don't know, I wanted decks that were going to kind of, I was looking for decks that I felt spoke specifically to the throat chakra. And so the throat chakra is responsible for communication. It's responsible for the expression of thoughts. It's responsible for expression of feelings and expression of ideas. It's responsible for your thoughts about yourself and your internal dialogue, right? And striking a balance between speaking and listening, as well as seeking truth, standing in your truth, expressing truth, your social skills and how you communicate with people, and and speaking truth to yourself, speaking truth about yourself, speaking with integrity, speaking with honor, those sorts of things, right? Communicating that way to yourself and to others. So I was looking for decks that I felt kind of encompass that. And so I have just a few decks here. I'm not going to keep you forever. I just wanted to put this here so that when I look back on my Decan Walk, when I look back at these videos, that I can find it. I know that there is a tag out there regarding the chakras and tarot. I haven't been down the rabbit hole of that tag yet, but I may do, just to see what they say about the throat chakra. We only have one day or two left in this Decan before I move on. So I think it's time for me to start climbing up out this rabbit hole, which is why I'm filming the video now. So let's look at some of the decks. So I have 3 tarot decks that I want to share with you today. And the first deck is the Broke Bitch Training Deck, the Broke Bitch Tarot Training Deck by Kat Deering and Taryn Masterson. Now, every time I pick up this deck, I feel like it was created. I feel like I can feel the fact. Now, I don't know this person, so I'm just saying this. But I feel like I can feel the fact that this was created by somebody who does not mince words, who does not, play the fool for anyone, who does not give a damn. They say what they mean and mean what they say. And I feel it in this deck. You know what I mean? So I feel it in not only the images and the way that they've chosen to depict the cards, but also in the keywords that they chose for this deck. So, I mean, this type of card, it just feels very authentic. It feels like it is an expression of the feelings that they feel for this world, frustrations that they feel, and maybe also some things that they feel should be highlighted that haven't been highlighted. So they wanted to highlight them and put it out there and express it. It feels like an expression. And I like this deck for that reason. And I like to use it for that. I actually use this deck as a clarifier to clarify things when I'm doing tarot readings, which is, I mean, that's some throat chakra shit right there, So this is what I use this deck for. Now, doing a deck dialogue with this deck was a little bit, I mean, it was sharp. I mean, it was clear, but it was sharp. It did not mince words, But I like that. I like that about this deck. I really enjoy it. And I do think that it fits pretty solidly in the throat chakra category. I mean, look at all these words. Look at all these words on the back. So that is the Broke Bitch Tarot Training Deck. The next deck that I wanted to add to this sort of throat chakra category in my collection is the Fifth Spirit Tarot. This is new to me, so I'm still working with it. I worked with it a little bit when I first got it, and then I put it back in order because it's a Hay House deck, and Hay House doesn't put pictures in their guidebooks. So I wanted the deck to be in order when I read through the guidebook because I haven't read through it. I've read a couple of things here and there, but I really want to go through it thoroughly because I feel like Charlie Claire Burgess, who is the creator of the deck, really has something to say. Hence, throat chakra deck. So it's still in order. So I'm going to try to keep it that way. Let me zoom you in. I don't want to have to put it back in order again. I already had to do it once. So we're just going to do it this way, and we're just going to, pull some cards out here. So I think that with this deck, it felt like it was, when I went through it, it felt like it was created by somebody who, not just the deck, but even the guidebook feels like it's created by somebody who felt like their throat chakra, not their throat chakra, but their words and their authenticity was being suppressed, and they wanted to express it, and they wanted other people to have a tool to be able to express their own as well if they were also feeling suppressed, right? So in comes this deck. And I mean, look at this one. 9 Lives Ballroom. I love that. And so I'm excited to I've worked with it a little bit, and I love it. I'm here for this deck. I do want to get into the guidebook completely to really hear what Charlie Claire Burgess has to say. I want us to be a part of the expression of the thoughts and feelings and ideas, and use those to, when I do the reading, let them color my readings with this deck. So I am excited to get into the guidebook with this. And this is the Fifth Spirit Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. Now, the last tarot deck that I have to share here is a deck that is unfortunately out of print. I usually don't try to share out of print decks here, but I cannot talk about a throat chakra deck for me without including this deck. Honest, it was a gift from the creator, and they kindly sent this over to me, and it has been for me a staple, as far as feeling like, how you just sometimes you feel like you need to shout from the rooftop and just be angry and loud about some shit. Now, that's not in me. It's not in me to be loud and angry. That's not my style. But I feel like this deck kind of helps me to release. It gives me some catharsis, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It feels cathartic when I use it to express my disappointment, my anger, and stuff, especially around the political situation in my country, the things that are happening with my people, and not just my people around the world. I use this deck for a lot of political readings. Be feeling upset, and I'll pull this out, or even if I'm just feeling like, what are people thinking? Like, what's really on their mind? Why are they doing this? Or if I'm just feeling a little, even sometimes when I'm feeling kind of defeated, I will pull this out to try to get some guidance on how I can keep going, even though, because we can't stop, right? We can't stop. We have to keep going, because when you stop, that's that underactive suppression, right, going on. You have to keep the balance, and it has to be a balance between not only just speaking and expressing and putting it out there, but also listening and understanding. I use this deck a lot for doing readings on understanding people. What are they thinking? Why are they doing this? What was the motivation behind this? That sort of thing. Things that upset me with the politics of my country, I will use this deck. So this is the Black Lives Matter Tarot. I'm not going to keep going into it. I do get a little bit passionate when when this one, my throat chakra gets a little overactive, and I start oversharing when this one comes out. But like I said, since my throat chakra seems to be sitting in the underactive stage, sometimes we need a little overactive to balance you out, right? So I could not have a throat chakra video and not put this deck in it. I couldn't. This one is the Threads of Fate Oracle Shadow Edition, and I bought the Shadow Edition because I thought it was pretty. But to be honest, this is kind of a shadow work deck. I'm not gonna lie. This is a deck that I didn't expect that from this deck. I just bought it because I thought it was pretty. But I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it very well. I'm gonna zoom you in just a little bit. Okay. I think that this deck is a fabulous and profound self-love deck. It is a deck that will help you get to the root of why you need to be loving yourself a little harder, why you're not loving yourself the way you should be, or why you're letting people treat you the way they shouldn't, or sometimes just what you can do to just be a better you. I love it. I think that this is a wonderful, deep, interesting deck. I did not expect what it gave me. I just did not. To the point where this new Kickstarter that they have actually has me curious. I don't think that I will back it, but damned if I didn't look at it, because this one shocked me so damn much that yeah, I it made me had to at least look. Anyways, this is the enough about that. This is the Threads of Fate um Oracle Shadow Edition. Now I think this one may be out of print, but there are still some prints of this one available. This Threads of Fate Oracle, they're all the same Oracle deck. It's just the backgrounds and stuff are a little different, like the coloring, the colorization, or the color story or whatever is a little bit different on each one, but I think basically they're all the same. And the guidebook is the same. You cannot have a throat chakra oracle collection without the queens of hip hop, or the hip hop queens deck. Come on now. If there is anything that helps you open up your throat chakra and express your truth, it is hip hop. It was born out of self-expression, out of, screaming from the rooftops. Oh my goodness. People were really, really trying to find that space, carve out a space where they could really speak their truths and talk about things like that people weren't talking about, and help people, and normalize things that should have been normal anyway. Look at Queen Latifah here. Like, I mean, she's still out there doing these things. So, I could not include this deck. Hip hop, females in hip hop, especially since I'm a female, I feel very close to this deck. And yeah, this is definitely one that I think is, about sharing truth, about community, about socializing, about standing up for your community, about normalizing certain things in your community. This is the hip hop queens, and hip hop in general. I don't have any other hip hop decks, I don't think, but I have another music deck. But this one is the one that I wanted to highlight for these, the hip hop queens, because it's got to be hip hop. It's got to be hip hop. Now, hip hop has taken a couple of turns over the years, but we can't take away what it did. So now the last one Oracle deck that I have here is the Wild Woman Rising. This is a deck. This is from US Game Systems. This is a deck that I think is the type of deck that if I needed to scream from the rooftops and tell people who I am when they weren't listening to me, it's going to tell me that. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, all right, it's time to get out there and get your megaphone and scream, or it's time to get out there and kick some ass, be the Xena. Find the Xena in you. So this is my deck for that. I adore it. Even with this big ass spider, which I am not a huge fan of bugs. Even with this dragonfly, I actually think this picture is quite beautiful. I don't love the dragonfly on this deck because I don't like insects, but I think that this picture is gorgeous. And to think of it as a Sikh wonder is just very striking, and it really elicits a deep feeling in me to make me want to go, to make me want to say and express and think out loud and share with other women, these things. So I and help other women share and feel and think and express. So I love this deck for that, and I think that it fits solidly in my throat chakra deck collection. So that is the Wild Woman Rising Oracle by Angie Sullins with artwork by Jenna Della Grottaglia. And you can get this off the US Games website or on Amazon. I will put links below. And the last deck, I could not do a throat chakra deck without including an affirmation deck, because affirmations are a way to engage the throat chakra in manifesting your desires and manifesting your dreams, right? Because we need to ask for what we want. We need to put it out to the universe. And the best way to do it is through your voice, and affirmation decks are meant to be spoken aloud in the same way people speak prayers aloud, in the same way people speak incantations and spells aloud. Words are strong and they matter, right? And I truly believe that. I truly believe that, which is why I love affirmation decks so much, and is why I'm always curating my affirmation decks to be intentional into what I want in my practice, into what I'm looking for in my life at the moment. And so my newest affirmation deck is the Wisdom del Alma, written by Christine Gutierrez, artwork by Jennifer Velasquez. It is a beautiful Hay House production that just came in, and I am very excited to have it. I will put the link on Amazon below for you. It's just really beautiful. So I wanted to just kind of like highlight some of them here for you. But I think when I'm talking about throat chakra and really being able to express what I want out loud, I want to say that my affirmational practice is probably the thing that has helped me open my throat chakra the most. And well, maybe the second most, because the thing that's probably helped me open my throat chakra the most, and not just open it, but open it and direct it intentionally, right, was yoga. Yoga was the thing, the first thing. The poses in yoga, opening throat chakras and stuff like that. Then my affirmational practice. And the affirmational practice came on the heels of yoga. They came together. Like I learned them together. So yeah, and some of the decks that I had back then, I've grown out of or I don't use anymore because it's not what I'm looking for. I do have some decks here in my collection currently, and I feel like these things have to change out. Your affirmations have to change and they have to grow because they need to be intentional, right? And they need to be what you want, because what you're saying is what you're bringing into your life. I really do believe that. So, um, I try to make sure that my decks reflect that. And this one, I think, is really going to be good for me and where I am right now. So I'm happy to have this one in my collection now. This is the Wisdom del Alma, a new offering to us from Hay House. All right, so I think I have a good collection now of decks that I can turn to when I feel I want to balance my throat chakra, I should say. What do you guys think? You think those are some good ones? What decks do you use when you are looking to either balance an overactive or an underactive throat chakra? Let me know below. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel to grow. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle. And until I see you next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.